Hello, can you hear me? Juan, I hope I'm saying your name right. Oh, okay, now it's good. Okay, Joanne, I'm saying the name good. Okay. In all this, though, he learned to make good friends. He's learning to get along with others, and he's slowly learning how to tell nice and not nice behavior. Okay, he's doing better job than me when I was at school. I didn't mix well with kids. I had another question, but I forgot. He's making friends, right? That's the most important thing. Did you get bullied when you were a kid too? Oh yes, not many, but you don't need tons, just some. And yeah, I was super nice kid, so kids got upset with that. Yeah, I think the key is to get people to be scared of you. I don't know, like the same thing happened to me. I was nice to kids, and then they started bullying me, and I was trying hard to be friends with them. But then when I stopped caring, the bullying stopped, I think. Just show them that you really don't care about them and it doesn't matter. انت لا تتدخل. I think the boy figured it out better than me. Is he doing like normal grades? Like are his average similar to the other children? Or is he at the bottom half of the class? I think that children that age are just not yet emotionally um, developed. So like they don't understand like how others feel or like feel what they feel. Like you know how you would watch someone crying and you would feel sad? Some kids don't have that skill yet. And they find joy in just being mean. Now what causes that? That's my theory, but I'm no specialist. He is in class. His IQ is high, so he does well in everything but writing. Writing is all about communication, which he doesn't do well. Plus, he has poor fine motor skill. Yeah, what is fine motor skills? Fine motor reminds me of fine art, but I'm sure that's not what it means. One YouTuber once said, and I forgot which video, but if I remember, I could send it to you. A guy said from his own experience that he thinks it's pointless that school finds what you are weakest at and then forces you to get better at that thing and just not work on the things that you are already good at. And he says that this is not a good idea and you should like not forget what you're bad at, but like leave it be and just focus on what you are good at so that you can excel at something, because no person in the world is good at everything and you can't expect someone to do well in everything. If someone is excelling at one thing but failing at the other, like forget the thing that you're failing at and just concentrate on what's your your strongest point. However, that's not how the educational system works. Not even here. You just gotta get good scores in every single subject, even if it doesn't matter in the future or it doesn't have anything to do with your future career. Which, I don't know, I agree with to some extent. I feel like you should get a basic level in everything, but I don't know, figure out what you're good at very soon in life and focus on it, but that's just me. You're 100% right on that. Empathy is a skill that's learned. Fine motor skills is being able to think to things like art, actually. Huh, okay. Okay, I was lucky guess. The ability to do fine detail work. Gross motor skills is like the ability to throw and run and ride a bike. Ah, ah, from the word motor, which means movement. Okay, I get it. My English is not 100%, but okay, I understand. But hey, that's not like a big what do you call obstacle. He'll get it eventually. And if he doesn't matter. If he's smart at one thing, he can do very well at the other stuff, like I was saying. I don't know. I'm sure if he works well now, getting a scholarship is the thing that my parents nagged me about when I was younger. So I always think like school children should get a scholarship. So if he can excel at one thing and get a scholarship in that, then that's good. Tamam. It's okay, you're doing very well. Not really, he wants to be a scientist. As long as he can type, he will be fine. Yeah, he can type on the computer. I thought when you said writing, like writing in general, like making up sentences and essays and these things. If you mean just handwriting, I think handwriting is dying anyway. Not too much, but like a little bit, I think. I'm currently in university and I don't remember having to write by my hand so much. My university is trying to be like the university of the future or whatever, and they're starting to teach us with iPads. Honestly, I prefer to study using like my computer, like slides through the screens, and I don't really write much anymore. And so my handwriting is very ugly, really. But I don't know, maybe that's just here. But if he can like compile sentences together, that would be good. I remember when I was a kid, I wanted to be a space scientist. And then and then some teacher came from some university, and I was in the fourth grade at the time, and he gave a lecture on how like space is scary and all the people that died in space and what would happen to our planet if a meteor hit, and it was all so scary. And like what are the chances for astronauts to actually die in space? I didn't want to be an astronaut, I just wanted to like work in the space field, but after that lecture I just stopped wanting to be a scientist. Oh, wrong layer. It's writing in general, but he's learning how to put together his story. Mostly I worry about handwriting because of the standardized test he takes. They have to write by hand. Oh yeah. I mean, doctors Are smart, but they don't know how to write. Okay. Um, I forgot what I was doing. Oh yeah. How many tests do kids take a year? I remember watching a show. What was it called? Um, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he had a whole episode on how much American kids take so many exams, and it's not logical. Um, in one of the countries, like near our area, there's been some protests by school kids that uh, school curriculums are nonsensical. The questions they put in the exams or in the books are like either they don't test any skills by the student, or they're pointless, or they just can't be solved, at least not by like a fourth grade student or something. They're not on their level, and children been protesting on the stupid exams, and they got the minister of education, and they brought her on air, and they told her to like answer the questions that she put on books, and she wouldn't. And their educational system is so broken. Huh? Still a wrong layer? Okay. I don't know, but even though the American system has too many exams, I look at how they complain about their education, and I'm like, I wish we had these problems. Well, not we. This country is doing well, but that other country, I wish they had these problems. And even like if normal kids keep failing, like I think 2 or 3 million kids failed. I don't remember the exact number, but it was like something in the millions of children failed this year. And that's why, like, that's what triggered this whole issue. And I'm like, wow, I forgot what was my point. But yeah. If these kids failed, then I'm sure, like, the other kids, the ones with disability, they don't even stand a chance. And that's sad. Some of these countries don't even have a plan to, like, merge kids with disabilities in society, which is terrible. I'm so glad that your son was born with you and in your country and not some other country, and so that he has a chance to like be a part of society. In the end, he's very smart, right? So he'll be doing fine. Too many. We the teachers hated the state tests that all kids in a grade level must take. There's normally at least 2 or 3 a year, 4 hours each time. Okay, that's a lot. We have one by the end of the year. Normally tests and quizzes, there are 2 to 3 a week when you take all classes together, sometimes more. Kids need to play. Kids need to go outside and do other stuff besides studying. بلا لازم. And I think educators don't understand that. Like, in order for a kid to have a healthy, happy life, he needs to experience everything, not just school. When I was a kid and I was at school, before we get a vacation, like a spring vacation, or if it's like an official holiday or something, they would say, okay, you guys have vacation, here's more homework, because you have time. And every single teacher would do the same thing. Oh, you have time. خلاص. Here, have more work. And the vacation ends up being just extra studying. It was stupid. And we objected, but to no avail. My class, I managed to get rid of almost all tests except the most important ones, but I'm an elective class, not required. Oh, you're a teacher. Yeah, I had one teacher once in university, and like in university teachers have more freedom. And so he was like, I hate midterms, I hate finals, and I hate exams, and I don't think it's a good way to evaluate someone. And he was actually leaving that semester. How do you draw a horse? I forgot. Okay. He didn't give us any exams, even though the university like forces you to give exams to students. That's that's the only way they interfere, like, okay, put down an exam. And so he gave it to us as a homework, and we took home with us and solved it at home. And he was like, okay, if you solve this once by yourselves, because he trusted us, and if you solve this once, then you already have that information. You don't need memorizing, because if you memorize, it's going to go away anyway. So what's the difference between writing it down and searching for it once and actually working towards getting the information, and then to memorize it like just just for the exam? It's you're going to remember both things like the same amount, I think. Perhaps if his method of just searching for the information would be better. I really liked that teacher. And then he gave everyone in the classroom A's because he was leaving that semester. So the university can't do anything about it. He was great. And I learned so much. He's the class that I remember the most from. Even though he was like 2, 3 years ago. Here, I will say most teachers don't want the testing, but our keeping our jobs requires it, particularly the main courses like math. We keep fighting to get rid of state testings. Yeah, and yeah, you get stuck with those just because it's the government or the school or the ministry that controls these things and not you. I don't know, I feel like each teacher should learn how to deal with each classroom individually, because each classroom is unique, supposedly, right? And they know better for their students. But then, okay, you can trust teachers that they'll do their work, but then you get some teachers that don't actually do it. So, how do you draw a horse? Look for images. Okay. It interferes with learning. As soon as the state tests happen and are done, the kids don't want to learn anymore, and we have 6 weeks left. Oh, it is. Each period I have its own personality, and I'm the last one to ask. Happy Rose, not me. Yeah, my mom is a teacher as well, and her her main problem is not just educating the kids, but also making the kids want to learn. Recently, what happened with my mom, um, one student stole her flash drive, which had the exams in it, and so she had to remake the exams, which was so exhausting for her. She kind of did everything just last minute, and it was, I don't know, just seeing my mom in so much stress was sad. I wished I could help her, but I couldn't. But it was so rude of the students to do that, and they got away with it. Nothing was done, even though they knew exactly who did it. Nothing is done. Because, the mom and dad of the student would get mad at the school if they punish them or suspend them because they paid money, and the school really doesn't do anything about it. The school is lazy. Yeah, that's why I never want to be a teacher. When I was younger, I wanted to be a teacher when I was really, really young. Like, I was in the second grade. Then I changed my mind because I saw how we treated our teachers, and like, oh, I don't want that. I had a kid throw my projector remote into a pond. Then they Snapchat. Oh, here, one kid um, in my university Snapchatted the teacher. He had some cultural traditional music on his on the projector playing in the classroom, and he just waved his hand with the music, didn't even actually dance with it, and they suspended him for it. And obviously the teacher didn't know he was being Snapchatted, because the university just cares about its reputation more than anything else. It's really a reputational thing more than like anything else. And that's sad. That teacher was good, like everyone loved him. From what I heard, he didn't teach me, but I saw the video, and they were like, oh, he was such a kind teacher, he was very forgiving, he was very helpful. Terrible. The best part, they didn't get how they got caught. Listen, as a recently been a student, yeah, we think teachers are stupid. Especially when I was younger, we thought that teachers don't know anything. They pretend to not know anything when they know everything, which is not really helping their case. Like, we thought teachers have no idea on what's going on behind their backs. And yeah, teachers tend to ignore these things when they happen, and so that's why we thought, oh, they don't know anything. They don't have Snapchats, they don't have Facebooks. They don't understand a thing. So, I don't know. Like, we had problems within the classroom. I had problems as well. I was getting bullied, and I thought, oh, none of the teachers knew about it because none of them helped me. But then when my mom came to school and talked to them about it, and oh, they know all about the situation, and they pretend not to know, which is disappointing. I guess they don't get paid enough to be bothered. But yeah, it's because teachers sometimes ignore the problems that are happening. That's why the kids think they don't actually know about them. And kids are stupid. They're the most stupid in this. Am I doing this right? Probably. How do you draw a saddle? That is true. I pretend I can't hear kids until they say something I have to worry about, and then I call it out, and everyone goes all, how did she hear that? Kids are so stupid, I swear to God. And you just play along with them. That's why they think, oh, they outsmarted you. Because teachers just play along and they don't bother. I don't know. It's a whole miscommunication thing. Well, I will be bothered. I just be quiet so they trap themselves when they are being bad. It looks good to me. One time, this reminds me of um, when one student. Okay, that the school that I was getting bullied at. It was just terrible. Okay, the kids were stupid. And it was like after the point where I stopped caring about everything mine. So this teacher was so nice. He was recently graduating, so he was very young and he just didn't understand anything. He was so young and naive, right? Oh. So he was so young and naive, and every time he had a problem with us or couldn't get us to get quiet, and I was always quiet, okay? I was nice. But whenever he couldn't handle the class, he would just call the supervisor, and she would yell at us for him because he couldn't yell, or he didn't look intimidating at all when he actually screamed at us. And one time, a girl threw a water bottle at him, and he got so upset, like, who threw it? Who threw it? And I think she was meaning to throw it at someone else, at another girl, and he didn't believe her when she said, "Oh, I didn't mean to." So he called the supervisor again, like always, and she started yelling at us, and She said, "Oh, I didn't mean to. It wasn't on purpose. I was just throwing it at this other person." And then that teacher cried. And I was like, "Oh, this is the first time that I saw a man crying, a stranger in front of me. Okay, that's too much." And oh my God, I was so embarrassed for him. It must have been embarrassing. I remember this situation, and every time I remember it, I feel ashamed, even though I had nothing to do with it. Like that was any better? They were throwing it. Yeah, I mean, it was terrible, and I felt so sorry for him. I was just like being very polite with him, and I was just extra nice with him out of pity. I really pitied him, and then they just started bullying him and me. It's hard when we cry in front of a student. Yeah, you lose all authority. Not that he had anything to begin with. He had no authority. And then they just replaced him eventually. I think he just got fed up with us. They replaced him with another guy who was also a new graduate, but he didn't care about us at all. I don't know if it was his. When we first heard we're getting a new math teacher, the girls were just planning. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna not listen to him the first class. We want our old teacher back," because really they wanted him because he just let them do whatever they want as long as they left him alone. So they were all like, "Oh, we're gonna scare that teacher away so that we get our old teacher." But then when the new teacher came into the classroom, everyone was just silent. Everyone was so quiet. And I don't know, it's just his existence was his presence itself was scary. He didn't smile. I don't think I ever saw him smile, except when he flirted with my sister's friend, but that's a story for another time. And I don't know, we got a terrible teacher instead of a really good one who really knew how to explain the subject. And that teacher, he was really passionate about the subject. You can tell that he got into math because he really loves math. And I wish we could have gotten him back. He really knew how to explain things had we just let him explain them. This is not how you draw a horse. I think I'm gonna leave the horse for later and just work on the face. Okay. I don't know. We got a terrible teacher instead. I don't think we deserved nice things. I have to smile. I love what I teach and want the kids to enjoy it too. I love when teachers love what they're doing. It's so apparent and obvious. Like, for me, it's hard to find a teacher who really likes what they're doing. They just do it, because it's a job. You get paid. And it was really rare for me to find someone who really liked what they're doing. And I think whenever I do, it's a young person, a new graduate or something. It's not someone who, I don't know, wasn't doing their job for years. I guess after a certain point, you just get tired. My mom liked teaching when she was younger, and now she doesn't. She's just okay. Just get over the book, and she does her job very well. And she's not just doing it just for the money. She also wants to educate, but you can tell she's just tired. She hates going to work and having to deal with these ungrateful kids. And here we have a problem with the children's attitude. They think because they pay money to the school that, oh, the school workers just work for you. And it's a big problem. You think, oh, they're my employees, they're my servants. They're here to serve me. There's just a sense of entitlement that's just causing them to think they can do whatever they want. I teach what we called family and consumer science. Is that the name of the subject? I teach things like interview skills, cooking, sewing, human service type jobs, communication skills, interior design, restaurant and hotels. Okay, that's a very wide range of things all to you. Like, did you ever find a problem when you first started teaching this? That, oh, this is a wide variety of things that you have to learn in order to teach? But that's a cool subject. I wish we had that. We didn't get cool subjects like this. All these things are just important things I wish I learned at school, but of course I had to learn by myself. Oh, we got that attitude here. Their parents pay school tax, so they are our bosses. Here, I don't think we have taxes for school yet. Taxes is a new thing. We started paying taxes, I think, last year. We didn't have those before, but yeah, they don't pay taxes and still very entitled little children. Do you think that teaching older kids is difficult, more difficult than teaching younger ones? Or is it the opposite? Oddly enough, I didn't have much trouble because I love learning for learning. So I have learned all sorts of things and I just had to fill in a few gaps. Okay, that must have been an adventure by itself to have to learn all these things. What I'm more passionate about learning is learning new softwares. Like, I'm very fluent in Photoshop, and I call it fluent because I feel like learning softwares is similar to learning languages. You just learn its logic, its alphabet, like its basic things, and then you basically understand the whole. I mean, I could go in depth on that, but I will not. It's a complicated, long subject. When I start talking about it, I don't shut up. But I can see when the feeling when you find something and you love learning so much that it doesn't even bother you. Sadly, for most of our lives, because of school and because we're forced to learn, that learning is bounded to the like this feeling of exhaustion or tiredness. Learning equals tiredness. Learning equals, I don't know, stress. I think it depends on the temperament. I thought both older and younger. Younger will follow you, but there are problems getting them to behave. Older can tell when you are faking, and they will completely disengage. And probably Snapchat throwing your stuff in a pond. Yeah, I mean, I think younger kids are easier to bribe. You can get candy to class and bribe them with it, and you're just the favorite teacher. I gave this tip actually to my friend. Yes, it works. Shut up. I'm talking to my brother. He, my brother thinks it doesn't work. I think it does. Yes, it does. No, because you're older, but with younger kids it does work. Okay, so here's the story. My friend actually, she's interning as a teacher, and she had that problem of the kids are running around, they're not listening to her, and they're younger. I think they were like grade 3, grade 2, something like that, elementary students. And she had a supervisor coming in, and he watched her as she struggled to like keep the kids in their own seats. So I gave her advice. Of course, I'm a superhero. I'm here to save her. I gave her the advice of just bringing candy to class, like Chupa Chups or like good candy, not the grandma candy. And she did that the next time the professor came to evaluate her, and the kids were behaving. It worked. They did well. Islam. So you can bribe them. It at least worked for someone. But with older kids it can't work because they can go and buy for themselves. There's candy in my mouth. I don't know if the mouth is of the mic is picking it up or not. 7th and 8th grades. I can if I find the right thing. What? But they're older. How do you bribe them? I learned how to melt Joy Ranchers into shapes, and they love that. Jolly Ranchers. What's لحظة, I'm gonna Google that. Candy. Ah, we don't have those here. Oh, just jelly candy. You melt them into shapes? That's a cute idea. Good effort. It works. It's like a status symbol school because only I make them. Oh, that's so cool. Can I buy some? I loved it when I was at school and my teacher would staple candy to the to our papers after she grades them. If you get good grades, she staples candy, and if you get a full mark, she staples 2 pieces to the paper. It was so successful in getting us to do well. My son says hi. Hi, how are you? What's his name? Zaver? I hope I'm saying that right. Wait, Google Translate. It's said like Xavier? 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 Am I saying it right? Wait, translate. Yes, Xavier. Xavier. Hi, Xavier. How are you? Awesome. Is this an English name? I mean, like, is it an American name? Because I've never heard it before. I'm sure you can't pronounce my name. Because it's not English. German. Yeah, I guess it couldn't be English. From my husband's side. Well, I'm Arabic. Wait, I'm gonna write my name. You pronounce that Ragad. But I'm sure you can't say it. Because I have lots of American teachers, they usually call me Ragad. Which is not exactly how you pronounce it, but it's close enough and I don't care. Because I understand, because here we have like lots of people from lots of different places and we always get like these names that no one can pronounce. And I struggle with it in front of other people. So I understand if people don't like can't say my name. It doesn't bother me too much. Unless if that person is Arabic and he pretends to not be able to read Arabic or he pretends to be English and so they mispronounce my name the way English people do that. It just grinds my gears. Why do they do that? Because I know you know how to say it. But I guess he just pretends to be foreign for fun or for, I don't know, to look educated. It's an annoying thing. I've had a few names like that. I would have spelled it out the first time and told you to keep correcting me until I get it right. Usually it's hard for people to get it right because of the ra and ra. It's like r, you know. It's similar to the English R a little bit, except it's a rolling R. But I don't know, ra is difficult for people to say. So I'm fine if you just say ga. instead. Because I had this American teacher who just really insisted on saying it correctly, and it was just embarrassing for both of us. He didn't let me go until he got it right. And I'm like, okay, you don't have to bother yourself so much. I don't mind. Yeah, this teacher specifically, he was lots of fun. So this American teacher, this was his first time ever in an Arabic country, and he was like, I don't know, like a fish out of the water. He was so funny and embarrassing at the same time. Like he didn't know anything or didn't understand anyone, or I don't know. I think he was trying to not be offensive for some reason, which he made a big deal out of everything that he would have looked offensive, you know. I don't know how to describe it, but he was trying so hard to like be one of us, and it just came out wrong. And we're used to having foreigners here, not just Americans, but everyone. There are lots of people here, so we don't mind if people don't understand some of our cultural things or make mistakes like that. It doesn't matter to us. But he made a big deal out of everything, just trying to be as, I don't know, as cultural friendly as possible, and it just came out wrong, but it was funny. I don't know, it's fun to see someone suffer. I had a few names like that. Oh yeah. It doesn't help with English. We have inconsistent rules, partly because English language took random words and rules from other languages. Yes, this confused me so much when I was learning English, and I know my English looks very well now, but in the past my English was, I don't know, very terrible, and it was so difficult. Like, it's a really difficult language because I think bits of it is from Latin and then from German and from Italian, and some of it is Arabic. I did recognize some of it being Arabic, which made some stuff easy. The word banana is actually Arabic, in case you didn't know. But I don't know. Yeah, it's very inconsistent and it's very difficult for people to learn. We as teachers here are taught to try and be part of the community and form relationships with students. Yeah, that's also here. I don't know. That teacher, um, he was just trying to be friends with us, I guess. So he was trying so hard, too hard, that it just came out funny. I don't know. I mean, in the end, we became friends. But that's everyone. Everyone wants to be part of the community and form relationships and all that. I'm still in touch with him, even though he doesn't teach me anymore. He has so much experience. He worked because I'm a mass communication student, so he like worked with some of biggest like companies. He worked with some CNN people at some point. He has so much experience and so much to learn from that I can't just, I don't know. It's useful to keep him in my contacts list. And he is helpful with so many things. Even though he doesn't teach me, I could go back and ask him questions about stuff and he just answers them. Very useful. دكتور فريدريك. حكيت لك عنه هذا الأفريقي. He has a group chat on some app, and he usually closes these when the class finishes, but he kept ours open because we were the first class he ever taught here. And yeah, he says we're memorable to him, and that's really nice. I think I could go back and, you know, learn from him later, even after I graduate. Yeah, that's sweet. He's very sweet, even though he at times he was the opposite of sweet. He was annoying sometimes. Okay, so near the end of the semester, I saw him in the administrative building. It was after like our class has finished and everything, and he was grading our papers, and he was like bringing our papers to like as a finalized things, you know. So he met me and he called me over and I said, "Oh, hi, doctor, how are you? How's everything?" And he's like, Do you know you got a C in my class?" And I thought, "What? You got a C?" "Yeah, sure, of course." And I thought, okay, this is how he jokes usually. So I was like, "Oh, yeah, sure, of course, yeah, okay, I believe you, ha ha ha." And he was like, "No, I'm serious, you got a C." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, you got a C, okay, whatever you want." And he's like, "No, I'm serious. You have a C in my class." And I just looked at him. What? I didn't believe him. I know I did well, and I'm an A student. I always get A's. So I looked at him, and I don't know. I didn't even give him a bit much of a reaction. I was just like looking at him, smiling. And he said that I didn't give him the last homework, and I said, "Oh, doctor, I sent that to you by email. And I told you about it, and you said, yes, I received it." And he was like, "Oh, you did send that. Oh, yeah." And he pretends to have just remembered that. And then he said, "Actually, I did see that you sent it to me, and I graded it, and it's included in the papers." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So why did he say I got a C beforehand? I don't know. He was trying to joke. And then he reminded me that, oh, we are the first class he taught, and he's going to miss us, and we will always be a special class to him. I think he was just trying to get a reaction out of me, just for fun. I don't know. I don't usually give reactions. I don't get offended. It's hard to get me to get mad at you over a joke, so yeah, I don't mind that. This is the thing. He's the kind of person that really jokes very harshly, you know, like guys would joke with each other. I think he forgets that he's teaching girls. Because guys wouldn't get that mad. And some girls end up getting mad at him for it. And I don't usually, because I don't usually get mad at jokes. I'm actually a very heavy joker myself. I don't know if that translates well in English, but yeah. And so I didn't mind much of it. But then when the semester ends, he gave us all good grades, and so we're happy. He didn't make it seem like it's easy to get good grades with him. He was always like, "Oh, I don't give high grades. You're all losing marks over this, over that. You're all doing terrible." And he would just point out our mistakes, and he was being very harsh in criticism and in jokes. But it passed, and we all got greater than what we expected. He's nice. I joke with the kids too. Every so often, the kids look at me after a pun or whatever and go, "I'm done with rice." Yeah, he doesn't just joke in puns. Actually, usually puns just fly over everyone's head, and I know my English sounds well, but not to brag or anything, but my English is much better than most people here. And so I would understand some of the puns, but some of the girls don't. So we just gave up on those after a while. And I would get the pun, but I wouldn't laugh at it. I would just pretend that I didn't understand, because it looks stupid if I was the only one laughing. And I don't think the girls even realized it was a joke. And so the teacher would just go on as if he didn't even say a joke, like nothing happened. I think I just laughed on the inside through these. But yeah, I think this works. I think I'll just crop some of it. Less work for me the more I crop. mm, would it look weird if I crop it? I don't know. Okay. But the way he joked, it was about our grades, and that's a sensitive topic. I think he accidentally called a girl fat, and I think he didn't realize it until after he said it. So, okay, let me remember the conversation. Oh, yeah. So, one girl was saying something, and I go to the gym or something. She said something about the gym, and he looked at her and he said, "Oh, you go to the gym? I don't believe that." Something like that. I don't know. It was the beginning of the semester, back when nobody even knew him yet. It was like the first class of people talking with each other, just introducing each other, you know? And so the girl didn't know him yet, and she got upset because he was calling her fat. And she told me the story of this teacher before I met him, and I was like, okay, oh, I have a class with that teacher. Oh, is this going to be terrible? I don't know. And then she was like, oh, you're gonna argue with him. I'm sure you're the type of person to argue with him. Please don't. If you want good grades, don't argue. Don't make him upset. And I'm like, oh no, that's impossible. I will definitely argue with him. I'm just an argue kind of person, you know? I was scared that, oh, this is a guy I'm gonna fight with. But I didn't. It was fun. I think he didn't notice that he did so. I think he was just trying hard to be friendly, you know? Yeah, I think he had good intentions. He did apologize to her after our class with him, and she was with that class, like, she would see him twice a day. He pulled her to the side, and we left. Next day, she said, oh, he apologized to me. And I think he apologized to girls often. Because he's trying hard to be friends with us, and he would just make these comments. I don't know, if it was guys, like I said, if it was like a guy classroom, it would be fine. Nobody even cares, but these are girls. Girls are overly sensitive and it's stupid. Yeah, I think the face looks good. Okay. Where's... Oh, hey. Okay. So I'm gonna make this shiny. Now, a cool trick to make stuff look shiny in Photoshop is contrast, right? Um, wait. Oh, let's make this rounder, and then make it into a circle. Okay. In his mind, he was probably saying something else. Love that face. Thank you. I think he was expecting, like, he would always expect laugh and then get a different reaction. I don't know. Maybe he didn't teach up because our university is segregated. We have boys and girls like in separate classroom. Maybe he's used to joking with guys often, that he just forgets that girls are sensitive. And also, we still have that sense of entitlement, even in university students. That they're like, oh, this teacher is supposed to serve me, he's not supposed to criticize me. Yeah, that's a thing. And they constantly send us emails that it's not allowed in university to tell a teacher, oh, you must give me this grade or this grade, and threatening teachers will not be tolerated or something of that sort, because some students are like, you have to give me good grades, you have no choice but to do that, or else I will, I don't know, get you fired or something like that, which teachers do get. And this teacher actually told me that because he threatens to give us bad grades all the time, which later on in the semester I realized, oh, he's just joking, he's not serious about it, but some girls didn't catch that yet. And I don't know, he said that he got threats from some people that if you don't give me good grades, I know someone important in the university or something, and they will get you fired. I don't know how true that was. Obviously, he just said it, but only because he said it doesn't mean it's true. because he said a lot of things that aren't true. But yeah, he would always lecture us in class on how he will only give us what we deserve. He doesn't care if he gets fired. You can't threaten him. And but like in the same class, he would say, "Oh, if you have a problem with me, don't go tell your uncles or something. Just solve it. Talk to me, and we'll solve it together." So he was afraid of getting fired and not accepting threats all at the same time. I don't know. I think he's just trying to like show that he controls the situation. I don't know. But it's a serious problem in my university. And not only him, but some other teachers will sometimes talk about like how they can't listen to students if they come to them and say, "Oh, you're supposed to give me this certain grade." Some teachers even they don't put our grades in the system until like the last day that they are allowed to, so that they can't change it if someone objects, and avoid some headache at least for a while. See, I tell the kids I will work you off, but I will tell you what you need for an A and what you need to fix at any time if you ask. Yeah, this is basically what this teacher was doing, but then some and I witnessed it myself, like some students would get mad at him if they don't get what they expect from him. Like we had this girl who she really liked him in the beginning. She thought, "Oh, this was the best teacher ever and everything," cuz I don't know. She automatically liked everything that's American. So, oh, he told her that he's going to like bring her with him to America to a film festival or something. Like he said, "Oh, if you ask, if your parents accept, like I'm gonna bring you with me or something." Like it was something like that, and she was excited for it, and they became friends at the beginning of the semester. And then she got so excited, she showed him one of her past works. And I was at the time in that classroom as this happened, and he kept criticizing her. I mean, he's a teacher, what did you expect? And he was pointing out her mistakes, and she got mad at him because he didn't flatter her the way she thought he would. And he was like, "Oh, here's your flaws." And he was very serious about it. He didn't sugarcoat anything. Like I said, he's threatening in the way he talks. He's actually really kind and really nice, but the way he just criticizes us is very harsh. And I appreciate that because I don't like, I think it's harmful if teachers tell us, "Oh, you're doing a good job," when you're actually not. So like I really appreciate him for this. But she didn't. And so um she became angry at him. Angry, yes. And she completely changed in his classroom from then on, and she would like get absent a lot or be late a lot or just not want to see him. I don't know. I mean, he's a teacher, he's not your friend anyway. And it changed to 180 because most of the girls of the class didn't like him in the beginning, but she did. And then by the end of the semester, people liked him more and she didn't like him. So everything was reversed. Is this medal too small? Hmm. I think I made it smaller. Yep. I mean, if you show me what you made for sewing, I'll tell you what you did well and what you did poorly. No, he just told her what she did poorly. He just told her, "Oh, it's full of mistakes." Like he's very harsh in his criticism, but you shouldn't cry about it like a baby. I don't know, she's my friend. I like her, but still, she was very childish in the way she acted. And I don't think so. It looks normal size, perhaps lopsided. Yeah. That's because I wanna wait. You're supposed to have this thing going on. Wait. Uh, let's say this. Ah, um, yeah, it's probably lopsided. Okay. A cool trick to do this quickly is to create a perfect table, circle, fill it, and we'll paint it and then warp it in place in the hand instead of that other one. I watch you and hubby do this and it's like magic to me. Who's hubby? Ah, okay. My brother told me. I get it. Because you mentioned it before and I thought it was someone's name. Okay. Ah, so he draws for the comic and then you write it, right? Because you did mention someone else's drawing for you. I do scripts and lore and everything. Ah, so it's your story and his art, right? Okay, too much. So we create a global light for the thing, and then we're supposed to create lots of contrast to make it look shiny. Yeah, the key to make things shiny is to make them dark at the same time. You can't have light without darkness, so I very it's going to start to get poetic, but I notice most artists when they want to make something shiny, they just add light stuff all over it, just more light stuff until they get to white, and there's just lots of whiteness in it, and it's not gonna work without darkness. Yeah, I'm saying contrast. So yeah, now it looks shiny just because there's darker things around it, and if we darken it just a bit here, too much, it'll look shinier. Right? Yeah. Okay, and then we find a nice font that says 1. I need a bold font that's very geometric, I think. I don't know, that's what I have in mind. He helps the character interaction when I can't get into character's mind properly. Oh, font, that can be drama there. Yeah, I thought of drawing the number 1, but always drawing characters. Yeah, this one is good. Drawing characters, I mean, like, letter characters is always agony to me. My handwriting is terrible, so that's not helping at all. Okay. So in Photoshop, do you use Photoshop, by the way? Because I can teach you lots of stuff with Photoshop. Because learning softwares, as I mentioned before, is so much like learning a language. And you can learn all the tools of the language, all the letters, but to become really fluent with it, you have to understand its mentality and then learn how to combine these tools to create something good. with them. Like, you could learn grammar, you could learn vocabulary, you could learn all these things, but they're pointless if you don't understand the language's mentality itself, like its logic. And that's the same thing with Photoshop. You can learn its tools, but if you don't understand how to combine these tools into something really good, then you haven't learned much. Now we're not gonna do this. Yes. Gonna just give it a stroke, make it a little bit thicker, and then no, actually, yeah, no, a stroke. Then make it a little bit darker, like this. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, what do you think? He does, he uses it for work too. I'm learning bits and pieces. Yeah, you should learn Photoshop. I don't know, what Photoshop is one of those things that I really truly believe that it should be taught to everyone. Because everywhere I go, people are like, oh, you know Photoshop, then you're very useful, come here and do these things for us. And they think they're the most complicated things in the world, but they're actually really simple and really easy to do. But people don't know that. And they just, sometimes they even pay for other people to do that, and some people may scam them and get them to pay like hundreds and thousands of money over something that could be done in like 5 minutes. Like, I'm not against artists making a living, but when they become scammers, it's just too much. انت ليه كتير مركز معي؟ So yeah, um, I think looks shiny enough. Maybe. Um, huh? Yeah. Make the stroke a little bit more transparent. And bright. And big. Hold on. I want to paint the stroke, like the outer lines of the thing, but not inside the text itself. So, to do that, I duplicate the layer, and then you raster size type, and then raster size layer style. So now we have two ones, the one in the back and the one here. Okay, let's remove this layer. So you get two ones. This is one and this is one. And so basically this one is having the stroke that I did initially in it, and I'm gonna hide it from here and just use the one here, and now we can paint it. And because it's behind the first one, you can't see if I paint, I don't know, like, okay, can you see it? Is it self-explanatory? Because I can't explain anything, I'm not that smart. But yeah, okay, so this area is facing the light source because it's coming from above, so it should be lighter. It might take me a moment to figure out how to light this. Okay, tone and he's happy to teach people if they want to learn. It looks good and shiny. Yeah, I get it since I've been learning a bit about layers. Okay, good. I taught Photoshop a little bit in my university, and I don't know. I wanted my students to actually do something good with it, but I guess I'm not as good of a teacher as you. I don't know. Okay, now it's looking like it's going up. I want it to look like it's sinking down. Maybe I should darken it. Yeah, but I felt like, okay, I was explaining so much stuff that I don't know if they retained much of the information, especially since I told them to bring their computers and bring their Photoshop with them, or I would have given them Photoshop the 30-day trial thing, and they could just try with me, do stuff along with me. But I don't know, they didn't. They always had excuses. Oh, the computer is too heavy to carry around, and I'm like, oh, okay, fine. I don't want to exhaust anyone with me. But I don't know. I wanted them to do some good stuff with it, but they didn't do much, and I'm disappointed. I feel like I wasn't good as a teacher. I didn't teach that well. How do you teach people who don't want to learn? I mean, they wanted to learn, they came to the workshop, but I feel like after a certain point, the only reason they were coming is just because they got used to coming here, right? Then after a while, they just became bored. Well, my class wasn't mandatory, it was something that we did for fun, so I don't know. Guess after some time, they just got tired. They had exams and work. Students say stuff like that a lot. It takes time to figure out how to adjust so the kids can learn. You find something that makes them care. When we went over service learning projects, I had them design a proposal for something they care about. It's a good idea. I actually teach in an art gallery. Sometimes I teach kids drawing and Photoshop and whatever they want to learn about art. Sometimes watercolor painting, which we aimlessly did nothing, just splatter some paints on some canvas and hey, it's a class. بس ما صليت يا كتب. I'm spending too much time on this one. Anyway, so I teach kids a little bit sometimes, and I would love to learn how to be a better teacher. Yeah, teaching is so hard. And I've always known it's difficult. That's why I didn't want to be one. How about this gold? Okay, I'm gonna make it look like it's coming out. Looks like it's my only option. Oh yeah. See how this area looks so pretty? Because there's darkness and lightness at the same time. So pretty. Hello, husband that Juan was talking about is here now. Hi, how are you? Watching, listening to you do art while I do art myself. Like the metallic effect you got going on there. Ah, thank you. It's actually really easy. See, this is my favorite tool in Photoshop. It's called Dodge tool. Now, Dodge tool and Burn tool are very cool to use because, let me show you. Okay, so I use them for pretty much everything. With the Dodge tool, I use it for lighting. I light almost anything with it. It's really nice and useful. So here's a trick I often do with hair, because sometimes I don't have time to paint hair, and I know your comic is all about robots and stuff, so you don't really have much hair, but maybe you can do it with like fabric or something, I don't know. So here's a random color. If you're on a rush, now usually I don't do this with like full-on paintings. I mean, I still do the dodge and burn tool often with everything, but yeah, this is how I do hair in comics. When I have like limited time and too much work, I just use the burn tool, and I do some darkness, like shading on the hair, and then use the dodge tool and do some shine here. And I recommend like shining the hair the way you would shine metal, because it looks cool. And you set it to highlights, exposure, and I use a hard brush for the dodge tool, but you can use whatever you like. Okay, and then the smudge tool, which is with the blur and sharpen tool, and then we do this. And oh, look at that, so easy to do hair. And because of course hair comes in many like stacks, what do they call them? I don't know. Sometimes I pick up a brush, and here you can play with the mood of the brush. I pick multiply, and then maybe sometimes I need to darken some strands overall, maybe with a little hardness. You do this. I mean, usually you pick a hard brush for hair because it's hard sometimes, and then you do this. And with the multiply layer, doing the like using the multiply layer for darkening is so nice, because it darkens everything to a certain degree, but it doesn't unite the colors of everything. Now I used it very hardly, but here if I use it lightly, it just darkens everything, but it treats lights and darks differently, which is also nice. Sometimes I use the multiply tool instead of the what is it called, of the um burn tool. Yeah, I don't remember the names of the stuff, I just know their places. But this is what I usually do. So, hope this helps. Yeah, using the dodge tool to like shine metal is really good. But like I said, shininess needs darkness along with it. So, a good balance between darkness and light always makes shininess look much better. I got excited a little bit with the lesson, but I hope this is useful. Okay, so back to my number one. Yeah, I think I need a little bit of white. Now, usually I'm against the use of pure whites, unless like you really had to, because the color white doesn't exist that much in life, because it's just too pure. Oh, I'm still on multiply. Okay, normal. Because the pureness of the color white doesn't exist in real life that much. And I guess like if you have a white thing, it doesn't really look white, because it's gonna always get affected by the lighting and stuff. I mean, pure white sometimes happens in real life, but it's so rare. Very rare. And that's why you should also rarely use it in your painting. So if you want your painting to look realistic, you are replicating real life, really. So I think this number one looks properly. Probably, I mean. That's good. I will happily be your practice student. Oh yeah, sure. If you need any questions, just come. And I think we've talked a lot. I don't know which one of you have been talking to on the forums, but if you need any question, I'm here, especially about Photoshop. I'm really passionate about this stuff, and I do teach Photoshop sometimes. Okay, so next is this thing. I'm gonna rotate it. No, it probably looked way better before. Okay. So yeah, and now we need this to become 3D. So I'm gonna duplicate this by clicking Ctrl J. Okay, you're not that. And I'm gonna move it a little bit and darken it. Yeah, does it look good? I'm gonna darken the edges. Yeah. Okay, I think I need a ring thing around the circle. I'm gonna duplicate the circle again, and another layer. I'm gonna create a perfect circle and paint it in, so now we have an object. And we're gonna select the layer underneath, and we're gonna align it to the center and expand it a little bit. Okay. I think this is too rendered for the whole image, but okay. We're gonna give it a shadow. To the same direction. Um, Wait. No, this is a drop shadow. I need an inner shadow. Inner shadow. Yes. So that we don't change its shape and it's still a perfect circle. Okay. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. Not too much. Sometimes when I don't know what to talk about in streams, I just switch to tutorial mode. I hope this isn't getting boring. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try and use some of these because I don't want to repaint it. If nothing works, I'm gonna repaint it. Yeah, this one works a little bit. Yeah. Okay. I think I'm gonna multiply this one and make it a multiply layer. Just way down. Put the opacity way down. Yeah? No. Gonna saturate it. Lighten it. Maybe this looks better, right? Yeah, okay. I think this light should break when it goes inside, so I'm gonna use the smudge tool and no, lock the opacity and just break that light a bit. A little bit. Oh, yes. So how does this look? Yeah, if you learn how to cheat properly with Photoshop, you would spend less time basically drawing. Okay, she's gonna teach me all the tricks and then you'll do all the coloring. I think it'll work once you shrink it down. It'll draw the eye to his prize. Yes. Yeah. I'm gonna bring it down and then let it look. I don't know. I still think I have to make everything realistic the same way. It's looking pretty good to me so far. Is this a book you're writing or for someone else? I have no idea. Okay. Yeah, so this is actually a children book for someone else. Wait, hold on, I'll be back. yeah. So this book is actually written by someone else. She's creating this children's book about the alphabets and the alphabet in my language, in Arabic. And so this story is for letter Ha. Yeah, you don't have that in English, but Ha is the combined letter between the words for horse and red, hence the red horse. And apple has Ha in it. What else? Festival. The Arabic word for festival also has the Ha sound. And so this is actually all about a Ha letter. Yeah? شو بتحكي انت؟ festival حصاد مهرجان الحصاد بديش اشرح كل شي. But she only has, this isn't even the first letter of the alphabet, she only has this story already. Al-harvest. Yeah, it's actually a harvest festival. Harvest is the one that has ha, not the festival word itself. But yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, this lady, has only this story ready so far. So this is the one I'm illustrating. Until she gets the other ones ready, I'm gonna work on this one. Okay, let's see. Yeah, if you learn how to cheat well with Photoshop, you can get away with doing less work. And that's what I love, doing less work. I think this isn't... It should be thicker. Yeah. Wait. I love the warp tool. It's really helpful. Yeah, imagine having to draw everything by hand, like the circleness, the number one. Oh, I forgot the number symbol. Wait. This thing. I'm gonna have to paint it in. No. Wait, maybe I can... Wait. Maybe I can duplicate some stuff. Wait. I forgot. Okay, so again, we're gonna add the stroke. Okay. And then, okay, too much stroke. We're gonna get smaller. Okay, we'll duplicate it, hide the effect here, and rasterize this layer. And then now we have the stroke and the thing separated. So now we can paint this however we want, except I'm not gonna paint again, so we're gonna take the painting for this one, we're gonna duplicate that, we're gonna put it up here, create clipping mask, and then move it so that it's on top of the... Oh no, it doesn't work. Oh, actually, I can animate this. Yeah, I've seen someone do an animation like this with having the shine going around something like this using clipping masks, which was nice. Okay, I'm gonna have to paint. I had no choice. Okay. It's not on all medals. You'll probably be fine without it. Really? I don't need it? Okay. Fine. It looks like it's number one, right? But do you have like medals who look like that? Doesn't it look too amateurish, too lazy? I'm searching Google images. Oh, sometimes they have this thing. Wait, I'll show you. Um, they have this thing. What do you call these? Like these plant things. I feel like my medal looks too bland. Yes, it depends on the company that makes them, but some have just the one. I don't know, it should look like a generic medal. Oh, look at this one. No, this kind of shine is nice. Ah, I can have stars all around. No, that's too much work. Forget it. I don't know. Sometimes the laurel leaves, I think. Yeah, I know the meaning of the word, but okay. I don't know how to say it. Yes, okay, so I'm gonna blending options, stroke, and then I'm gonna make this thicker. Like this. Probably. Too much? Yes, too much. It's too thick on the top and thin on the sides. I'm gonna try to solve this problem. Warp. Hmm. Wait, I'll reduce the stroke. And then raster size. Raster size. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce that word. I could be pronouncing it wrong. It's okay, like English speakers can't say English sometimes. Yeah. Um, fun fact, I don't even speak Arabic that well either. I always mess up words, or I don't know, the things that I say just smash into each other, and all of the words that come out of my mouth are like mashed potatoes, and I can't say some things and just I get confused. I'm the type of person that just gets overwhelmed too much, and I don't know, I think of lots of things at the same time, and I do so many things at the same time as well, and I'm like, I don't know, I want to not waste time. That's the key thing. And I think that's what confuses me. And my mom always tells me to just slow down, to not do a bunch of things at once, but I can't. I have to. I feel like I have to, especially after university, because I've learned to just do things all together because I don't have time to do things one by one, basically. Yeah. And then you get stuck with a chatty person today. I mean, I don't mind the chat. I like chatting with you. It helps me. If it's not for this streaming actually and having to talk to people, I would probably not sit by my computer and work this much. خلاص. I would get up and do something else and forget about it, or maybe like watch a video, and I hate it when I do that. I really want to just like focus, sit down and do one thing. Okay, so if we look here, because I resized it and transform it so much, look at it. It looks, the edges look ugly. So now to solve this problem, I'm gonna teach you something else. I don't know if you already knew it, but it's actually a very fun tool. Select and refine edge. Okay, now if your object is black, obviously you wouldn't see anything. So in the view, you can just choose like what kind of view you want. Okay, I'm gonna go with black, but you can choose like different colors just in case it helps you. And yeah, you can play with the selection here. Oh, So this feathers, smooth, it's self-explanatory. So usually when I have this result, I use smooth and then contrast, and smooth and then contrast, and then maybe shift edge, which just brings it all inside or outside a little bit, but not too much. And then I smooth it a little bit, and sometimes I have to do it twice. So this creates a selection, but you can also set it to create a mask, which is like a layer and then a mask layer. I don't know if you use masks. When I was new to Photoshop, masks used to confuse me a lot. So I choose it and I use it another time. Okay, select it first. Select refine edge and I smooth it again, just to get rid of that like shaved head type of look. But this is also too microscopic. It's probably not gonna work. And I press Ctrl J, so I copy the selection onto a new layer and I delete the past two. I mess up my own language too. Sometimes I'll start saying something, change my mind as to what I want to say, but I'm already like mind words, so I end up pushing two words together. Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what's happening to me. I wonder if it's a bilingual type of thing that's going on. Um, the people that I know that don't know English and just depend on Arabic solely, they don't have this problem, while I know some other like bilingual people, be it like Arabic and Indian or like Arabic and English, they struggle the same way. Is it a bilingual thing? Are you um like do you actually speak German as a base language and English is your second language? Because maybe that's, I don't know, your brain confusing two things together. Oh, hi, Crafty Pasta. How are you? Mic is on. You should be sleeping now. Go to sleep. I'm such a mom sometimes. So you are also nocturnal. Oh, it's 12 a.m. Me? No, I'm decidedly English only. I tried learning Spanish in high school and failed my last semester. Took keyboarding instead. Good choice. Very good choice. I think it's an artist idea person thing. He's actually a natural born American. Ah, I see. Maybe it's an artist thing. Yeah, because when I was younger, I would often just think about like other scenarios of stories or come up with events in my head that aren't even in real life. And that would confuse me. That sometimes like interfere with real life. I don't know how to explain it. It's a little bit embarrassing at the same time, but I would sometimes confuse imagination with life. I remember when I was in the third grade, I used to do that a lot. I used to think of my backpack actually eating my book and it was a person and I pretend to talk to it. And then sometimes I would pretend that under my desk is just a sea of fish and animals. And I think it's because of a one children's song that we watched on TV where a kid goes inside a bubble and in that bubble he just um, goes underwater and sees all these kinds of colorful fish and reef, and I wanted to go there. And so at school I would pretend that underneath my desk is that sea and all these fish and animals and colorful stuff, and then I would keep diving and end up next to the teacher. I would actually crawl under the desk up to the front right near the teacher, and the teacher would be mad at me and I'm like, I don't understand, why are you upset? uh, this is embarrassing to admit, but I don't know, I was always out of my head, which wasn't a problem to me, that much when I was younger, but now it gets annoying. And I don't like doing that. But it helps me think of other stories or other things that are happening, you know? Like most of the stories that I make now start out as one of these weird imaginations that I do. That sounds so fun. Yeah, it's fun, but it would get out of control sometimes, and I would do things that it's hard to explain. And as a kid, I would never like talk or say these things actually to people, because how do you explain this? It's weird. Like only now as an adult I'm able to say these things and say, oh, this and that happened to me, and my mom was like, what? How do you explain this to people? I don't know. And I would end up doing these weird, embarrassing things, and I just look weird. And in my head, that's I don't know, very justifiable. Only in my own head that makes sense what I just did. I don't know. I think this looks way too realistic. I'm gonna spend too much time on the rest of the image now. Okay. So in order to treat this whole thing as a whole, like all together. Oh, I could have done this. I could have just did this thing here.
Do you remember?
Wait. I could have just did a circle and just cut it. That would have been easier. Oh well, I already did all this. خلاص.
21st of September.
So we put everything in one group and we call that middle. And I'm so glad I finally learned how to properly name my groups, because when I used to not do that, actually let me duplicate this just in case I mess something up. But yeah, when I was younger I didn't name my groups, and I would get like near 100 um, layers and so many groups within each other, and I'm like, okay, what am I doing? And I would get lost, and if I'm looking for like a certain object, it would take me so much time to find it. Especially if I started a drawing like long ago and now I'm coming back to it. So learning how to like name your groups always is a good idea. Okay, what's the object here that's causing the transform box to look like this? Ah. Okay. So you select this and you select inverse, Control X, and now the problem is gone. Okay, good. So now the transform box is to the middle. Sorry, I'm distracted. I'm experimenting with making soda. You can make soda at home? Interesting. If it works, tell me how, even though I don't drink soda. Layer groups are amazing. I use them all the time on the comic. Do you draw all of the comic on the same page? Now, this is a question I always wanted to ask people, but I never did. Anyway, like what's your process when making your comic? Do you like do all panels in one folder, like one image? Here's what I do. And I don't know if it's too much, but okay, so this is, oh yeah, you can't see that. Okay, wait. Yeah. Okay. So this is my massa folder. Where is it? Yeah, here. And this is how it looks like on the inside. Now this is the old stuff, and here's the new stuff. And this is a carpet that I'm using in the some panels. I think I put in a carpet. but I numbered
I
each
really try
chapters
to
like 1,
understand
2,
the
3,
machine.
4, 5 inside the folder. Like each panel of the comic is a folder all by itself. And then I joined them all into one. And that's how I do this. Now, obviously, doing that takes more time. So, I don't know. Like, do people do this, or am I the only one, or do you just on one canvas you draw everything, like every panel? Like, how do you do it? What's your process? You were in your own world in your head, like in a bubble, not caring much about what's outside. Yeah, but you get bullied for that. It's true, he does it by panel number. I can answer this. Oh, so he does it in folders like I do? Um, yeah, okay. Sorry, but I'm afraid of showing something on my desktop that's not supposed to show. I don't know. One time I showed my passport photo by mistake. He has a super long page he's made for the layout. He does a rough sketch for the whole thing, and then he groups layers for each panels. Huh, so he does it all in one file. Interesting, because I used to do that in the past, but then I think I mainly stopped doing that because my computer would get too slow for it. Um, no, wrong group. Yeah, and that's why. But now I got a better computer, so I could do that again. Probably would save time, but mm, I don't know. I got used to this process, I think. Is this well looking? Or does his hand look broken? mm, okay. Sometimes too if the computer lags. Oh yeah. So you separate each chapter to two files. Then sometimes. Each comic issue has its own file and folder on my machine as well. Ah, so you divide the folders per chapter. You get bullied for being different. Kids and some adults hate what is different from what they know. It's normal. Yeah, the thing with, oh, you get bullied for being different, I feel like that's just a television thing. I don't know, something inspirational. They tell children, oh, you get bullied because you're different. No, you get bullied because you are weird. And you're not normal. That's why you get bullied. And it's not because, oh, you're better than other people. It's because you need to, I don't know, to go back to society. Or, okay, okay, that sounds too harsh. But what I'm saying is, like, if you get bullied, this means you have problem like with social skills, and you should learn how to become social, because you live within this world, you live within this society. And I know it's sad the way I'm saying this, because TV usually promotes the opposite, but we don't live in TV, we live in real life. And in real life, if you want to function, you need to be able to work with the society you live in. And we need to stop, I don't know, saying whatever TV says just to make ourselves feel better. um Am I sounding too harsh? I don't know. You don't get bullied for being different. You get bullied for being weird and wrong. Sometimes. Probably, not all the time. Darn, can't get this soda fuzzy enough. Did you try to blow on it? Gives it more carbon dioxide. Okay, sorry, that's not funny. Also, so rice and pasta on chat. This is a buffet. Yeah, and I'm Chocolate Boss. Yeah, in some places my name is Chocolate Boss. More by update. Our first chapter is like 6 months of updates. Oh, 6 months of updates for me is 6 episodes. God, I hated the fact that I only update once a month. It's bothering me. Okay, now this hand was working before, and then I messed something up, and now it doesn't anymore. What did I do? I did something. Okay. I think I'm gonna have to redo the thumb. This is why I'm actually pressuring myself to do 2 episodes per month instead of 1. Because my episodes are short, they're not even that long, so why is it taking me a year to do 12 of them? I'm never gonna finish my comic if I do that. I want to do more of it, more often, update it more often, just more. You know, finish the first chapter at least in a month. No, not in a month, but like at least this year. I have 12 chapters. And the problem is the art style that I'm doing for the comic is just too elaborate, too much work. What am I doing? I forgot how to draw hands. This is not how you draw hands. You know, I'm gonna bring the thumb forward. Yeah. But if I'll have the thumb by itself a different layer. I forgot how to do hands. How do you do hands? Oh. Good thing your comic is made of robots. You don't have thumbs. Do you? I feel it's a mix. We should try be ourselves, but be ready to adapt to those that can't accept. Then we work from there to change things. Yeah, I think each thing that happens is its own case. Like every case is its own unique case, and you can't apply what you did in another case here. I don't know. Like every problem is a unique problem, even though they might be the same category, they probably can't be solved the same way. I agree with you. Soon 12 episodes. Yeah. In this year I'm gonna have 24 uploads if I keep uploading twice a month, which is still a low number. Oh well, your art really is amazing though. Yeah, I pressured myself to do good art for the comic because I feel otherwise if my art was done hastily, because I already did one comic before and my art for that was very lazy and I was very tired when I did it. I mean, not tired, it was like an experimental comic. And I don't know. People didn't read it much because it looked lazy. The story was nice, but even the story got lazier because I tried to, as much as possible, to have less panels in the story, and sometimes I would make lots of shortcuts in the story just to get it done. I don't know, I think the art style reflects into your process of making, I suppose. Ooh, I didn't even save. Okay, I'm saving this for the first time. Thank God I have a good computer. But you should find a balance between making the story look really pretty visually and actually making the story finishable. Think you'll simplify it then? I will probably do. I think I'm starting to spend less and less time on each panels. I'm getting lazier. I'm afraid of, I don't know, deteriorating to the point that my art style isn't even attractive anymore and people would drop the comic because, oh, the drawings aren't that good anymore. I definitely did read some comics even though I didn't like or I didn't understand the story just because of their art. Like, it's the only thing that I keep reading. I just see pictures, that's what's cool about it. And I don't know. I want the story to stand on its own, even if the art isn't that good. But at the same time, I want readers. You know, the dilemma. You have to find that balance in between. But at the same time, the people could drop the story because it doesn't update often enough and they start forgetting what happened in the past. And I do get, like, I talk to some readers and they say, oh, I already forgot what happened, which is bad. Because it took me like around a year now to finish one day of that storyline. Like, besides the prologue, it's only one day in the comics time. In my time, it's a year. That's not balanced. Yeah, good, you don't have any thumbs. Thumbs are agony. Hands are agony. I don't understand hands. Most of the robots have 3 fingers, hands, 1 finger, 2 fingers, 1 thumb, which brings its own level of challenge. Control S is your friend. Yes, Control S, Control S. I think that's where what Thomas and I helps because we do our bits and talk things over. Of course, someone keeps adding panels and giving himself more work. Yes, but there is 2 of you now. Teamwork is key. I know lots of comics that succeed are still going on now because there's more than one person working on it. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe in the future I could, because I don't know if I'll get a job someday in the future, because I know this is gonna take a few years of my life. So I don't know what's gonna happen in the future. Am I gonna still continue to draw or not, or will I still have this amount of time that I have now that I'm still busy for this comic? Like, what's gonna happen in the future? Am I gonna need a different artist? And my art style is the type that's very difficult to find someone that can match it. And I don't want people, if I ever end up needing another artist, which I also cannot pay for, but even if I do find like myself capable of getting another artist, will I ever be able to find someone that has the same art style as mine? No, of course not. Oh, look at this. I already drew a guide for the hand, which I forgot about, which would have been helpful. Okay. I'm so smart sometimes, I swear. Okay, even that looks off anyway. That's fine. The hands already look good. I try not to think how long the story will take to finish. Me too. I'm still on chapter 1 and I have so much to go. Wait, let me show you, actually. I have a... Now, probably full of spoilers, but oh well. We're not gonna get to this point anytime soon in the story anyway. But let me show you, and I think Crafty Pasta, I already told you about this file before. Yeah. Here. Now, this is full of spoilers, but this is the entire story of Masa. And of course, it's color-coded. And as you can see... Oh no. Everything in gray is the stuff that I have already done. And everything in blue is the stuff that I have storyboarded but not drew. Yeah, I'm this far into the story, and this took me a year. And this is the rest of it. This is the entire story. Too much. I'm here. Here I am, currently. This is where I am. And this is how much I storyboarded, which is also a lot. And each page of storyboards takes around 2 to 3 updates. Sometimes 4 if the panels are smaller. And all of this is still to go. What am I doing? I don't know. And I keep editing this file a lot. Of course, like as you can see, there's lots of errors in writing. Half of it is just characters' names, but I'm very careless with the way I write it. Not caring about grammar or spelling or anything. I'm just caring about like the story and the idea. And it's very simplified. Like if we zoom back in here. Okay, I don't know if you already read this. But so far, Masa in Orphanage meets Tariq, and meeting Tariq takes around how many chapters? I don't know, a lot. And I think Breaks Tooth with Tariq is happy. I don't understand what this means, but like Breaks Tooth, that in itself took a few chapters. Not few chapters, few episodes. That's a lot. Yeah. Did I save? I shouldn't have saved. Who cares? We have about 5 major chapters, 3 or more minor ones, and I think the climax. So 5 plus 4. Okay. How long is a chapter though? How many updates or how many episodes does a chapter have? That's a lot more reasonable though. Oh, that sounds about what we are doing too. About 2 updates is 1 page, and I've tried to get up to the end of February done. I would love to have like future updates already and just schedule them and work on other stuff for a while. How that would be so relaxing to have all my future updates already planned and already done, and I don't have to get concerned about it for a while. Oh, about 20 updates I think. And how often do you update? Because for now I'm trying that twice a month thing. Still didn't get there, but I'll tell you what happens if I do. We update once a week. Huh. So I think it's doable. Yeah, you can do this. I believe in you. You can do it. So it's not going to take that long if you, I don't know, stay consistent with that. Yeah. Really wish you the best. You know what? I'm gonna try and read your comic later. Once I finish with the book and a few other commissions that I took. I'm gonna start reading comics again and watch some shows that I wanted to watch. I've been having a list of stuff that I want to watch or stuff I want to do ready for me, like when this vacation starts, because I'm currently on break. And yeah, I'm currently on break and I'm still not doing them because all of a sudden work. I love working, I love drawing, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't feel like a break so far. But your work is way more detailed than ours, I think. Thanks. But yours is more doable. And that's good, because people don't forget what happened the last episode by the time you upload, because a month is a really long time. I wish I could upload once a week, or even twice a week. That would be nice. So yeah, you guys are in a very good situation now. I wonder if Pasta, uh, wait, Crafty Pasta, wait, I forgot his name. Yeah, I know your name, I just, Crafty Pasta, yeah. I wonder if you went to sleep. Oh yeah, I do more cell style with mine, which is more recommended, because if you decide to ever, like, I don't know, if something happens and you're just too busy to work on your comic, you can easily find someone who can do part of the work for you. You can, for example, draw most of the chapter and then send it over to someone, and someone can do the cell shading. So that's one advantage to that. Like, I think your style is, it's more advantageous. Is that a word? Yeah, it works better than what I do. I think when I first started this story, I was like, okay, quality over quantity. I want to do more quality. But now that I look at the story, I'm like, quantity would be good too. This is too much. I don't know. I don't want to stress myself too much. I don't want to overthink it. I'm just gonna enjoy it. See, the thing is, like, I don't mind taking forever to finish a comic. Like, I don't mind. I love this. It's fun. But I still, at the same time, I have so many other stories that I also want to share. And so, I don't know, I'm like, do I say I don't know too much to the point that it's annoying? Because it's starting to annoy me. محمد لما ضلني أحكي ما بعرف كتير ما بزعجك؟
ايش؟
If I say I don't know too much, does it annoy you? لا? Okay. Good, I'm too self-aware. But yeah, what was I saying? I forgot. It's not annoying. Thank you. I forgot my point. What was I talking about? Something about comics. I forgot. I don't know. I mean, how could I be annoying? I'm the boss. I'm the best. Mm. Oh yeah, something about all the stories that I want to tell. Yeah, I have lots of stories that I want to tell, so I need to finish them. Oh dear, are you getting tired? I'm not. It's fun. This is nice, sitting and talking with people with our imaginary cups of coffee. What's the time over there in America? Is it the morning? I think of America as like the upside down place, because when it's morning here, it's night there, and when it's night there, it's morning here. It's interesting. I have a friend in the UK, and sometimes like we talk live, and then I look out her window and it's sunny, and sometimes here it's dark while it's sunny there. And I mean, okay, the sun sets there early in the day, but even though our timing is similar, like we have similar time zones, I think it's 2 hour difference. Anyway, it's like, it's so amazing. How are we on the same planets? And the place you are in now is so different. It's amazing, subhanallah. Central time zone is 2:48 right now in the afternoon. Yeah, I don't understand Central time zone. I'm not programmed to it. And it's 2:48 p.m. Sleep. Oh, Here you are, Crafty. You go to sleep. You should go to sleep. You don't tell me to go to sleep. Crafty, what's the time there? But US does have 4 time zones. Oh, okay. My uncles live in when? محمد وين عمامي؟ إخوالي ساكنين؟ وين إخوالي ساكنين في أمريكا؟ Alabama? Oh yeah, that's where my doctor, the funny doctor that I told you about, that's where he lives. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if you heard him. He said something about rednecks. Okay. But Alabama is how's the time there? Wait, it can't be that different. Because we also call them and it's like a different time zone there. Like it's a different time of day and it's like, oh wow, we're on the same planet. How come? It's 3:50 there, I think. Don't you think it's weird? I don't know. It's easy to think of because we're talking in numbers now, but like if I take a photo of what's outside my window and then you take a photo of what's inside your window and we compare them and we're like, oh, we're on the same planet. It's so I don't know. To me, I know it's logic. Like we understand why this is happening because the Earth is rotating around the sun and blah blah blah. Like it makes sense, but at the same time, it's like a wow, you know? Or maybe I'm overthinking. شكرا محمد حطيت البرتقال على تليفوني الله يسعدك. Right now probably isn't too different. In gloomy and rainy we don't have much sun. I wish we had rain here. You take our sun. Here it's always sunny. It's annoying. Wait, I'm gonna mute the mic because I'm gonna eat for a while. Hold on. Hello again. I think I'll melt there. I don't do heat well. I barely handle the summer heat here. Oh, you wouldn't handle the summer heat here. Here it's so hot. Remember my funny American teacher? Yeah, the first day he came, it was one of the hottest days. Now the rest of the semester it was winter, so the weather was average. Like in winter we have average weather, but in summer, or actually the rest of the year, it's hot. It's really hot. But the first day he came, he was just so um wet. I think he needed a towel to dry himself of the he was so sweaty, so much, too much, and I felt sorry for him. I think, yeah, most of new teachers or like newcomers, foreigners, complain about the weather the most. It's really hot here. And then I hear about like other like people on the internet complaining about the temperature, and they say, oh, it's like 20 Celsius, or no, I mean like 30 Celsius. They complain about 30 Celsius. Here it gets to 40, 45. I'm melting just hearing you talk about it. Yeah, but thankfully, like, all buildings here, yeah, they know their weather here. So all buildings are very temperature proof. What's the word for it? I don't know. But yeah, um, we have central heat, like cooling systems here, and even in cars. So if you go outside like for 5 minutes or like a few minutes between moving between buildings in the university, then that's hot. But then, and even in the university, we have buses going around, like taking people places because we are so spoiled, taking us from one building to another. But you still like spend some time walking in the sun. But everywhere in the country, like even if you want to go have fun, like if you want to go places, you'd usually go to a mall or the cinema. You don't stay outside, and everything is cool inside, and so people just stay indoors. Why is it gray? Oh, no. Oh, I'm not on the brush tool. Okay. Shoot, insulated? Yes, insulated. That's the word. But yeah, the buildings are okay as long as you stay inside. So no sane people would go outside like to a garden or something in the summer. So outdoor places are usually empty for most of the years. So like this time of the year the weather is a lot less hotter than it usually is. It's sometimes hot now, but sometimes it could get like really cold. Some areas of the country, like further from the Gulf, it's a lot less cooler, and the inside, like towards the desert, ironically, is the more cooler places, especially at night. So, um, if you wanna, like if people wanna barbecue or something, they would travel into the desert and camp outside, and it's fun there. I'm at this. I'm distracted again. I'm getting mad at him because I'm not sure how long to cook it. Oh, did your soda work? It didn't? Oh man, if it works, send me the recipe. I could create cola so good, I will make Coca-Cola go bankrupt. Yeah, I'm a little bit full of myself. It did not, so I'm taking a break. Yeah, so you don't get frustrated. Calm down, my friend. It's okay. You'll get it right next time. You know, um, what's the name of the guy who invented the lamp? Whatever he is, he tried 100 times. I should shut up, Wolf. This is the kind of cheesy, encouraging words they give us at school. It's so annoying. I had a friend who one time complained that she's depressed, or I'm not sure if she's actually depressed or if she's just pretending just to be cool or whatever, but okay, fine. Because I know she's not. And she went to the person, what do you call them, like consultant in the university, and tried like to talk to her and feel better and get better. And she just, I don't know, she gave her all these like stereotypical encouraging words like you're doing fine, you're doing well, you're great, you're awesome, you're powerful, blah 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 blah. And that's all. And then she left there and she's like, why does this person have a job? It's nothing. Like I'm telling her my problems and she's just, I don't know, saying something completely different or unrelated, just the same speech that she gives every student. Okay. Thomas Edison. Yeah, that's the guy. I swear I knew it. Plus, I have to get dinner taken care of at some point. Soda from the thing called Soda Stream. It's a system that puts carbonations in water and then you add flavoring syrup. Oh, you gotta get a machine for that. How many layers do you have? How many? This is the 24th layer. It's actually not that much. Yeah, I either get 100 layers to do one drawing or just one layer somewhere in between. I don't get. It has to be either extreme case, one extreme case or the other extreme case. Found the weight of the ham. Need 2 hours. Huh. Okay. I forgot what I was doing. I don't know. Yeah, thankfully my so-called depressed friend is now doing better. See, I met like actual depressed people before, and I think she was just doing it for fun or curiosity. I know I sound mean right now, but she pretends to have problems just to attract attention, and like she pretends to be sad, and it looks like it, which a little bit upsets me because the way she does it is, I don't know, it would cause like actual depressed people to be ignored or annoyed because she does it in a way that's annoying, and I don't know how to describe it, but it makes actual depressed people less credible, you know? Yeah. Anyway, she went back to herself soon after. Like those people who sleep 1 hour or 12 hours. Yeah, either 100 layers or one layer. Okay, what's next? How do you draw a saddle? A saddle. دهون. Ah, okay, no, I'm not gonna mess with the hand again. Okay, I think I'm gonna do the vest thing. Um, how does a horse rider's vest look like?
And I think it changes, so I must replace you.
Yeah.
أصبر خليني أطلع كذا.
Horse riding outfits. Too much work. I'm gonna just create my own version.
You left me falling and landing inside my grave. I know that you
محمد
want me.
انت بتلعب حاليا؟ الوقت متأخر. It's 1 a.m. Ooh. Do you hear my brother?
تسمعوني يا ناس؟
Can you hear him? ما بحكوش English عربي.
Can you hear me?
I don't know. Okay, it's fine. It's not gonna speak English anyway. I can. Yeah. بسمعوك. That's okay. He's on. He's speaking a different language anyway. I can hear someone in the background. Yeah. Oh, everyone hears you.
أعطي sensitivity شوي.
ما بتوطى. Say hi. Say hi. No, they can't see you waving. Is the same gaming raging boy? Yes! Yes, he's the guy that's always raging on games. And then he's like, oh, games don't cause rage, don't cause anger. Games don't cause violence. He used to be very peaceful before he started gaming. I'm getting on his nerves on purpose, I'm joking. But yeah, he's not gonna be shouting now because it's too late at night and people are sleeping. We're safe now.
في حد دخل الهواء. Oh.
As long as he doesn't bang his keyboards and then my mom wakes us up and gets us both to bed. Wait. Sometimes it's good to reference other images. No, this one is barely even clear. I love how I did the effect of speed. This is how it looks like without the effect. And this is with the effect. And in case you're wondering, I'm gonna recreate this. How I did this in case you don't know how, which I don't know. I don't wanna seem too lectury, but I don't know. I feel like, oh, these are cool tricks that everyone needs to know. But here's how I did it. Okay. First of all, we create a new visible layer on top of everything, right? And then make sure it's visible. If it's not visible, it's not gonna work. Or any other layer, even if it's like a layer that's full of stuff, doesn't matter. If you do that and then you click Control Shift Alt E, and I think Command as well in case you're using a Mac. I think it's Command Shift Alt E. Okay, whatever it is. And if you do this, you create a copy of all the layers that's underneath in a new layer, and it merges all layers together, right? So if we hide this group, like we have everything in one. And after that, you create you go to blur, motion blur, no, not motion blur, I always mistake these two, radial blur, and just play with the blur effects, they're fun. So you can either choose zoom or spin, and I used this effect also when Massa got hit in the face by a ball. It was fun. So yeah, spin makes it look like someone is dizzy, but zoom, it insinuates speed. And then you can choose the amount. Now the amount, like the amount of the amount differs, like how strong the amount affects your image differs depending on the size of your image. So usually I try this a couple times before I get like a nice amount. Now this is probably too much too. If you like go back and reduce it to like maybe 6, maybe that's good. Yeah, like we can still see the center of the image. And then this is just an image, a normal image that I found on the internet, like this image. I think I said like enemy lines or enemy action lines or speed lines, something like that. Lowered the opacity and then set it to difference, I suppose. No, divide. Yeah, and we got this effect. And of course lowered the opacity because if I don't, it's too strong. Yeah, and I think I even like resized it, like took it outside of the photo a little bit, because like if if I do so, the lines are thinner a little bit, it's lesser. Like, there are other ways to reduce the effect of it, and it's nice like this. And there you have it. Massa getting hit with a ball wasn't fun. Oh. But you can tell your mom you are being social and practicing your English. Yes, that's actually useful. Um, yeah, I'm not struggling with English anymore. She's not gonna accept that. Yeah, my English is currently enough. It's not enough if I like travel to an English country or anything, but like for studying, it's enough. I think I actually teach English, which is weird because my English isn't 100% even. But oh well. I teach English at university. I help other students learn it and prepare for IELTS test. I don't know if you know about this. You know what's the IEL? IELTS? No. A? How is it spelled? Oh my god, كيف بنكتب الآيلتس محمد؟
IELTS.
LTS? I swear there was an A in it, but yeah. This is the thing that I help girls prepare for. That English proficiency test. But I'm trying to find the original file for it. Oh yeah, I even made a thanks for the sub version of it. I think I used the spin instead of the speed because the spin makes it feel more dizzy. I left while creating this one, and I'm sorry I'm so evil, but like, this is how God created me, don't judge. Oh, the effect isn't here. I think I forgot to save. I think I didn't save it in the original file. Okay. I think I forgot to save it. But yeah, you can just blur, radial blur, and spin. And I think I need a little amount because this file is smaller. Yep, that's too much. We call it star for our state test. Yeah, it has to be a different test then, because IELTS is British. Yeah, I think. Yes, it's British. And yeah, but we also have the American version of IELTS. What is it called? SAT? صح؟
SAT معناته بالانجليزي.
مين
SAT للجامعة.
شو اللي بدل الايلتس؟
بيرسي.
لا في عندك الايلتس وفي عندك TOEFL. Yeah, the TOEFL is the American version of it. بلا TOEFL.
في بيرسون.
No, SAT is for other subjects, and I'm not required to take SATs, but some other students do, depending on your nationality or what university you're going to, or I don't know, it's complicated. Back when I was applying for university, it gave me a headache. It was fun. This picture is fun. Sorry, Crafty Pasta, it's fun. It was fun to do, and it made me actually laugh. But yeah, contrary to what some people may think, I don't actually paint the image looking like this. No, okay. I'm gonna close this because I changed it and I don't want to accidentally save it. Oh, it accidentally saved. It didn't ask me whether I want to save or not. Okay, that's fine. It's not much of a difference. Anyway, I'm gonna open it again.
Control Z بعدين تسوي سيف مرة ثانية.
No, I already saved. Oh, that's fine. It doesn't matter. It's the same image. I know it lookalike SAT, but we call it SAT. Oh, you call it SAT. Right, yeah, all Americans say SAT. Yeah, everyone here says SAT. SAT, okay. Now it sounds funnier because it's the past tense of sit. But okay, because you sit for an exam, it's fitting. Ah, oh, I forgot to do the ribbon or the medal. Okay, because I'm too tired to create the middle, like, looking perfectly. Where's the horse? Here's the horse. Okay, no problem. I'm gonna use the pen tool to make it look perfect. Right, and then it's gonna be above the horse a little bit, but oh well. Oh,
أحمد الكارير marking.
I think maybe, yep. Did it close? Is this how it closed? Okay. I don't know what just happened, but okay, let's um fill path. Okay. And it doesn't matter which color because we can't just change it. Delete path. Gonna just change it into something visible. Yeah, this looks good. Yeah. And then we want part of it to be under the horse, but the horse is under the man. So that's not gonna work, so we just select the horse's layer. Oh god, it's a mess. We're supposed to select the horse's layer and then Control X and it cuts off, but no, it's too messy, it's not gonna work. I'm gonna have to do it manually. Sometimes you just can't cheat because you already cheated yourself before.
اسمك ما تراي عندك بكرة لأن أخوي ما يقدر.
Ah, it's because Ragad been lazy in the past. Okay.
دمك ما أقدر عندك بكرة. أخوي ما يقدر يجي.
Crafty, you don't wanna see my comic, someone will die. I wanna see your comic now. I'm evil, haha.
شوف يعني أنا بروح regardless لو أحمد بيه ولا لا بس ما أقدر أي.
Crafty, you really wanna die? Just go to America. I'm joking. I'm joking, I'm joking.
ما تدخل رانك 3-0.
The cat is mad at me. I'm treating myself to a liquor rights whip. He thinks it's a snake. A licorice? Ah, yeah. Wait, if it's what I'm thinking it is, in Arabic we call it araksus. Oh yeah, this stuff. My dad likes it. He has it all the time. He always has a stash of it somewhere. Yeah, I see videos of cats in the internet getting scared of cucumbers. And I thought it was hilarious because all cats do for some reason. I wanted to test it on some actual cats in my area, but I didn't. I thought it was too evil. Um, so someone explained it to me. I forgot to, what was it, a real life person or was it a video? I don't know. 28th century. um, um, I think, yeah, المهم. So the person explained it to me. He said that cats in nature are scared of snakes and cucumbers look like snakes, and that's why they're scared. Interesting. Would cats be also scared of carrots? Or are they too bright in color? Yeah, okay. So I didn't have to draw by hand most of that, so that's nice. actually. I'm gonna talk a bit more of it. No, it's supposed to be more behind his neck. That would make a lot more sense. Who cares? This is a children's book. Why am I bothering myself? I feel like I'm the kind of person in the future who would just collect children's book, whether I have children or not, only because I like looking at their drawings and collect them as art books. Because I see some really nice ones, but I don't buy them because money, you know. Okay, and then the other one. It's instinctive. They think it's a snake at first glance, but mine eats baby snakes that come into our house. Ah, okay. Did you ever see it happening in front of you? I would have been freaked out. I thought the cats jump because there's a cucumber behind them that wasn't there before, and like the person before filming just sneaks it behind them without the cat knowing, and that's why they jump. But yeah, apparently it's snakes. They think it's snakes. So mostly he's mad I'm not sharing yummy snake and not carrots. Because kids notice that's why you're bothering. Yeah, kids are smart. They're smarter than what we think. Mm, yeah. When I was younger, I always thought that cartoons thought that I was stupid. It's actually a real issue. I think that here we don't have, oh, not stroke, fill path. I don't know if you guys use the pen tool, but it's really a versatile tool and it's really good. It's really nice for everything. You can use it to create like shapes, and then you can move points around and readjust them like this, for example. And then you can create custom shape. So if you want to use this shape frequently, you can do this. And now you have it here. And you can bring this shape up over and over. And with the style of your comic, I think this is a useful thing to do with hands and heads and eyes. So I really recommend you do this. Now it's gonna save you a lot of time. You don't have to draw the head over and over. And the thing is with paths is that no matter how much you resize them, like here I'm blowing it up and then make it small, right? And then make it big again. And it's flipped, so I'm gonna flip it again. And it's still, like if I go, like I just changed its color accent, I'm like, okay. If I zoom in, it's still sharp and it's not like blurred like this hand. I think this hand blurs a little bit because I transformed it. If you transform something, like if you click Ctrl T and then resize and transform something, it blurs a little bit. But with shapes you can't, and you can resize them as much as you want. And it's really good. Yeah, just like the tool in Illustrator. Yeah, it was difficult. When I first learned Photoshop, the pen tool was a mystery to me. I didn't understand it. I never used it until I saw a video of someone teaching it and really recommending it to people. And slowly I began to trust it. It was like a really gradual thing. It was hard to learn. But once you learn it, it can help you a lot. If you like create all of your heads or all of like some parts of the characters or some things that you find yourself drawing often, if you create them in a pen tool instead of like, you can even create a, I don't know, a picture of them and save it somewhere on your computer and just reuse it again. You can do that as well, but putting it in the pen tool is much easier, much more accessible, and its resolution is infinite. Like you can make it smaller, larger, no problem, right? It's really useful and it can save you tons of time if you use it. It's gonna be hard to learn at first, but it's worth it. I think this is supposed to be behind the hand. Oh, what is this? What have I done? Okay, now we select the hand and then we control exit. Oh, deselect the head and then control X, and now it's off our way and it's behind the thing. Yeah, and of course we want it also behind the medal, so um where is it? It doesn't select the, oh, it's hidden, that's why. Okay, the actual group, okay, it doesn't select it. I swear I used to select groups before. Okay, it doesn't matter. Yeah, and then we control X, remove that off. Okay, um where's the thing here? Okay, so this should wrap around. I don't know how to do that. Wait. Okay, turns out I don't need a selection. Oh well. Yeah. Because kids notice, that's why you're bothering. Yeah, okay. I already. Yes, I did not interfere. I did not interfere. It was kinda creepy. What? I forgot what was the conversation. I use the pen tool in Illustrator but haven't figured out how to use it in Photoshop. Okay, glad I got dinner on a start. I started getting lightheaded again. Oh, why? Do you have a health issue? I hope you're feeling better now. If the smell bothers you, stay away. I don't know. Do you often feel lightheaded? I think my back hurts me now. Oh yeah, the illness. I forgot. Okay. I think this is working. Yeah, today we started with with just a sketch. I think I can finish this tomorrow. Let me do the background because I hate the color white on backgrounds. I'm gonna just do a plain blue. By the way, Control U brings this thing. Do you use a Mac or do you use a Windows computer? Control U brings out this hue and saturation window, which is really useful and I use it often, so you wanna have it in quick. I think I might just create an out of focus type of background. I think blue is too little detail. He uses Windows, I use a Mac. Okay, so replace every control with command. Then command U brings out the hue slider. I remember it this way: control U, control hue. You know, control hue, control U. And so I remembered the shortcut. gonna paint something back there later. Oh, my fingers hurt me now. I'm so tempted to make one joke about the comic now. Well, say the joke. I'm gonna read the comic later. Maybe I'll remember it and laugh. I appreciate the puns. I aim to get better in English only to say puns in English, because I do ones in Arabic. And I make everyone around me cringe. I want to learn that skill in English too. I'm not funny in real life. Sorry. I'm just annoying. Oh. Control U, Control who are you? Oh yeah. Okay, I didn't have to read it to get it. Or maybe do I? I don't know, I'm gonna read it. Promise.
Reinforce something, please. Lazim.
Bah, you're not annoying. It's the title. Yeah. But you know, my jokes are always funny. Ask my brother, Muhammad. My jokes are funny, right? Muhammad. Muhammad. Oh, his friends are hearing me. Okay. Hmm. No. This is the back side. No. This is the back side, I think. Doesn't matter. Okay. Um, it's 1:30 in the morning. Well, that's fair. We hear him. Yeah, his friends also hear me. His friends talk about me as well. Behind my back badly. Anyway, it's getting late. I'm gonna go to bed now. Thank you so much for coming to my stream, and I hope I see you next time. We had so much fun. It was nice talking to you, both of you. And Crafty, I think he's gone. Yeah. But yeah, goodbye.